Our top story this morning, a commanding officer, a major of the army and deputy superintendent of the Jammu and Kashmir police were killed during an encounter with terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district. A colonel, a major of a Rashtriya Rifles unit of the army and a deputy superintendent of Jammu and Kashmir police were killed in action during a heavy gunfight encounter with terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag, and Colonel Manpreet Singh, Major Ashish Dhonchak and Deputy Superintendent of Police Humayun Muzammil Bhatt were killed in action during the gunfight. Colonel Manpreet Singh was the commanding officer of the 19 Rashtriya Rifles unit and is a recipient of the prestigious Sena Medal as well. The Rashtriya Rifles is a counter-insurgency force. Humayun Muzammil Bhatt's father, Ghulam Hassan Bhatt, is a retired Inspector General of Jammu and Kashmir Police. He laid a wreath on his son's body. Absolutely emotional moment as the country lost a brave heart there. The body of the police officer and the two army officers were retrieved from the dense forests of the Kokarnag area of Anantnag, where there was heavy gunfight, and that encounter went on for hours. Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai, Army's 15 Corps Commander and Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police Dilbagh Singh are among the top officials who rushed to the encounter site to supervise the operations and also the evacuation process. Nazir Masoodi, my colleague, is now joining us live on the phone line. Nazir, what is the latest that you have? The evacuation process is still underway, is what we understand.
Exactly, and that remains the biggest, challenge as well as the priority to ensure the, bodies are retrieved. So far, there is no clarity if the bodies of Colonel Manpreet and Major Ashish have been retrieved. Last evening, we could only find the body of DSP Humayun Muzammil Bhatt was retrieved because there was heavy firing going on in that area. Because it is a very difficult thing. It is very easier said than because when you in an operation in a particularly hilly area, in a difficult area, army has to extremely in a situation where they have to save more casualties and ensure there is no more damage. So because this operation has been actually one of the most difficult operations since yesterday morning. Security force made all efforts to first to evacuate the injured, but that could not happen. So then it was to retrieve the bodies. Last evening, the tree-sling ceremony of fallen DSP Humayun Muzammil Bhatt was held at this police line in Srinagar, and JNK's Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha laid the wreath along with other officers, and we saw a somber moment when father of the fallen DSP, he laid the wreath. Ghulam Hassan Bhatt is himself a retired Inspector General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, and we could see, and perhaps everybody was in tears that time. And then his body was taken for the final last rites at Humama area in Srinagar. So there was a large number of people attending the last rites of Humayun Muzammil Bhatt. So that time, father again shouldered the coffin of his young son, who was a young officer who was married just last year. I believe in September itself he was married, and this September he has been killed in this encounter in action. So that's how the senior officers actually lead from the front when it comes to encounters, be it from the army or Jammu and Kashmir Police, and that's how the officers, security force, give the sacrifice to maintain peace in Jammu and Kashmir. But right now, this operation is underway in Kokarnag, where the first thing is to retrieve the bodies, second thing is to track down the militants who appears to be well entrenched, special forces, and also the high altitude mountain warfare. Soldiers have also been rushed to the site yesterday itself. Absolutely. To ensure that those militants are tracked down sooner than later, and the bodies are retrieved. And there have been reports some soldiers may have been missing, but that security force person may have been missing, but that has not been confirmed by the officials so far.
Absolutely unfortunate there, Nazir, and as you mentioned, the focus right now is to make sure that the bodies are retrieved and that crackdown on militants as well. They're survived by grieving families, bereaved mothers there, as we can see. Absolutely unfortunate in Jammu Kashmir's Anantnag. And moving now to the big political story. Well, the agenda for the special parliament session is finally out. The special parliament session, remember, has been called by the central government between September the 18th and the 22nd of September. Well, earlier the centre was rather secretive about the agenda, but now the agenda is out and there will be a discussion on the 75-year history of the parliament. But what's most important is that the government is going to push through with key legislative business, where 4 bills are on the cards. 4 bills are likely to be passed in the special session of the parliament, and the primary among them is a bill to, in a sense, amend the appointment of election commissioners and chief election commissioner. Well, this bill seeks to replace the Chief Justice of India in that committee that shall be responsible for the appointment of the election commissioners and the chief election commissioner. Remember, it was back in March when the Supreme Court had ruled that the Chief Justice of India will also be a part of this particular committee that appoints election commissioners in India. So the Chief Election Commissioner's appointment bill is on the cards, and that is likely to be passed by the central government. It's an extremely contentious bill, something that's attracted sharp criticism from the opposition as well. Arvind has the details.
The agenda for the special session of the parliament has been made public through the parliament bulletins in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And if you could see the Rajya Sabha parliament bulletin, it makes it very clear that there will be a discussion on the 75th year of parliamentary journey. So the journey of 75 years of parliament will be discussed on the first day of the special session. That's on September 18th. That has been revealed in the parliamentary bulletin in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So on 18th, it's very clear that there will be a detailed discussion on the 75 years of parliamentary journey. So that's very clear. But alongside, almost 5 bills have been listed for passing in the special session in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If you could see both the bulletins, one important bill that has been listed for passing in the special session is that the appointment bill for CEC, Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner. This particular bill was introduced in the previous session, but it was not taken up for consideration. So that particular bill, which is a very important bill that will set up a system for appointment of Chief Election Commissioner along with Election Commissioners, will be taken up for consideration in the upcoming special session. In all likelihood, this particular bill, government will be trying to pass this bill in the upcoming special session. But what is important or the contentious issue in this particular bill is that the Supreme Court the Supreme Court Constitution Bench in this judgment had held that high-powered committee comprising of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha and also Chief Justice of India will be part of the committee that will be selecting the Chief Election Commissioner along with the Election Commissioner. Okay. So that has been changed in this particular bill. Instead of Chief Justice of India, right, that has been replaced with an Union Minister. So that particular bill will be taken up for consideration in the upcoming special session. Okay. So though both the almost 5 bills have been listed in both the parliamentary bulletins, but the parliamentary bulletin also makes it very clear that these 5 bills are not the exhaustive list, and in all likelihood there will be more bills, but we have to wait when the bills are introduced in the parliament.
So it remains to be seen how that special session actually plays out politically after a rather stormy monsoon session. But moving now to the other big political headline. Well, the BJP celebrated the big G20 success of the Prime Minister at the central headquarters of the party. There you can see the Prime Minister arriving at the BJP headquarters, a rousing welcome for the Prime Minister by Karyakartas and BJP workers from across the country, the central headquarters of the party in the national capital. But also what's most important is that the BJP Central Election Committee also met, and there were discussions around 38 key seats. This as poll season has well and truly begun, and we are counting down to crucial state elections including Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Remember, the BJP has already come out with its first list as far as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh is concerned, well ahead of scheduled time, given the fact that this is the first time that the BJP came out with its first list before poll dates were even announced by the Election Commission. And as per sources, most challenging seats were discussed in that CEC meet. Vasudha Venugopal is now joining us live on the broadcast. Vasudha, of course, one part of it is the optics, the fact that the BJP is, in a sense, milking the Prime Minister's G20 success politically, something that we're expecting to play out also in the Parliament session, the special session of Parliament. But what's important is that the CEC, the Central Election Committee of the BJP, they met and they discussed the most challenging seats as far as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh is concerned. Of course, the BJP wanting to have a first mover's advantage as well, given the fact that it came out with its first list well in time, well in advance, even before the poll dates were announced. What was actually discussed in this crucial CEC meet?
So Vedant, as we know, the CEC meeting was held yesterday. The first part of the meeting was all about celebrating the G20 presidency of the country. The party also formally, officially released a resolution, congratulating the Prime Minister, and also saying that the hallmark of India's G20 presidency is that it was a people's presidency. Now, this is not, this is not different from BJP's politics or India's domestic politics, because it is a very critical moment for the country, and the BJP is going to use it to its advantage. And this is one, talking about India's achievements in diplomacy is also going to cut across castes and communities. So it is definitely going to be of some advantage to the BJP. That is why a lot of focus was put on that. Apart from that, in the CEC meeting, Madhya Pradesh was at the center of this deliberations, because Madhya Pradesh, like you remember, 2018 was a very close fight, and Madhya Pradesh is a very critical state for the BJP, because a lot of leaders of the party come from the state. It has one of the strongest foundations there, but in the last 18 years, anti-incumbency is a big challenge, and that is being offset by two things. One is welfare schemes that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is pushing, and the other thing, of course, is that the party, under the leadership of Home Minister Amit Shah, has taken control of the state, is also trying to push forward this collective leadership. But is this going to translate into voters having that sense of confidence in the party to give them the vote again? That is one thing that the party is very concerned about, and that is why it does not want to take any chances. In this meeting, 39 seats were announced on the 16th of August, and those were the most difficult seats. Those were the seats that the BJP had lost. But these were the second rank of difficult seats, where there are many contenders, but the party is sort of making a very conscious decision to take some time. If they want to field family members, do they want to field the same candidates? Do they want to go for some sort of a different caste combination? So these are the second rank of difficult seats that the party is deliberating upon. I'm told that around 27 seats have been finalized, and the Prime Minister is also going to Madhya Pradesh in the Sagar district today to launch a series of industrial parks. So I'm sure the discussions are going to continue. The list did not come out last night. That means that there's more scope for deliberations, that the party does not want to take any call in any haste, so that because the candidate is clearly the most important person to win you the seat. So that is something that the party is very cognizant about, and that is why the list is expected today or in a few days from now, and the Prime Minister proceeds to Madhya Pradesh. So yesterday's CEC meeting was a lot about Madhya Pradesh.
So of course that second list is likely soon, and this as the BJP is well and truly in election mode. But this also, as the India Alliance is in a huddle. The opposition's India Alliance held its first coordination panel meeting to strategize for the upcoming elections and discuss the seat sharing formula, which of course remains to be one of the most important challenges for the India Alliance. Several key decisions have been taken in the meeting. Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal said that the parties have decided to hold talks over seat sharing soon, and the joint public meetings will be held across the country. The first of which is scheduled to happen in the first week of October in Bhopal in Pole Mount, Madhya Pradesh. The India Alliance leaders also emphasized on the caste census, which of course has been a politically contentious issue among the India Alliance party. Listening to what K.C. Venugopal had to say.
The coordination committee decided to start the process for determining the seat sharing. It was decided that the member parties will hold the talks and decide at the earliest.
And our senior colleague Sunil Prabhu is now joining us live on the broadcast. Sunil, sir, so many important takeaways as far as that meeting is concerned, but there are many pain points and many differences that the India Alliance parties have to iron out. Of course, the caste census, we all saw how it played out in the last meeting with Mamata Banerjee leading the charge against it. before they actually hit the campaign trail in a crucial election year, what are going to be the pain points and differences that the India Alliance parties need to iron out?
Well, let's go to the easy part. The easy part is that they want to send a message of unity of opposition forces, and that's why in Bhopal they will go ahead with a public rally and talk about unemployment, high rising prices and other issues to take on the ruling NDA government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Bhopal in the first week of October. Having said that, there will definitely be pinpoints. There are a lot of contradictions. It's not easy for an alliance of this nature to be able to resolve many of those crises. Some of issues will continue right down and even after the elections. For example, the easiest case is Kerala, where the CPM is contesting against the Congress party, and there is really no presence of the BJP. So there will be an intra-India fight there. Having said that, it is in other states where they will need to find some kind of formula in terms of seat sharing. How does the Congress work with the Aam Aadmi Party? Can they have a broader alliance with the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh? These are key pinpricks which need to be resolved, which, as I said, might take place or might not take place. Irrespective of that, they want to show a united face to take on the BJP, because they believe that it's only with the unity of opposition forces will they be able to take on the Narendra Modi government and its incumbency for the last 10 years.
Sunil sir, many thanks for joining us with all those details. And as Sunil sir is mentioning, well, there are many challenges, but the idea is to present a united face with now public meetings planned across the country. We'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side. Welcome back. News now from Manipur, where isolated incidents of violence are still being reported. Unidentified militants shot dead a Manipur police sub-inspector, and injured 2 other civilians in the Churachandpur district on the afternoon of Wednesday. The sub-inspector was posted at Chingpai, and he was killed by a bullet to the head around, and probably from a sniper rifle shot, is what senior police officials are telling us. Well, 2 civilians were also shot dead by miscreants in the Kuki-dominated district. Well, of course, Churachandpur has been the centre of violence ever since it broke out back on the 3rd of May.
In Manipur yesterday, a police sub-inspector was killed in a exchange of fire, as well as 2 people have sustained injuries in Churachandpur district. Now, this sub-inspector was in a bunker duty when he was apparently what seems like being shot by a bullet from sniper rifles. Remember, sniper rifles are being used in Manipur in this exchange of fires which have been taking place. In fact, this comes close on the heels of day before yesterday's killing of 3 people who were traveling for emergency services and medical for medical requirement in a vehicle. They were killed in Kankupi district. So in the last 2 days, there have been at least 4 people who have been killed. In the last 1 week or so, 7 people have been killed in Manipur. So there is an escalation in exchange of fire, in incident of firing, as well as therefore there is a renewed demand, particularly from the tribal groups, for imposition of Armed Forces Special Power Act, particularly in the valley region, because their allegation is that armed people from the valley side are attacking. On the other hand, there has been also reports of shelling and bombing in areas dominated by the in the valley, as well in the fringe areas of the valley. So therefore, while more security has been put in place in these areas, what remains to be seen is that how de-escalation takes place, because there has been this incidents of firing, and in fact people are dying, and in fact now call for imposition of ASPA has been also renewed in parts of Manipur.
So, well, the situation in Manipur is still sensitive and volatile. But staying with news from the northeast, the Assam government has constituted a 5-member committee under the chairmanship of the Advocate General of Assam, Devajit Lonsaikia, to draft appropriate legislations to ban polygamy and other related issues such as tackling interreligious marriage by false identity and the role of a Kaji in the matter of child marriage. Well, the state government has started another round of crackdown against child marriages as well, something that has been continuing in the past couple of months. We'll take a short break now with that, and news continues on the other side. Let's get you a wrap of all the big international stories we are tracking, and starting with an update on the flood situation in Libya. Well, according to reports, the administration that runs eastern Libya has said that more than 5,300 people have been dead so far, and the number could well even double. Officials say that the estimated number of deaths in the city could reach to almost 20,000. Well, Libya was hit by flash floods when 2 dams burst upstream from the coastal city of Derna, releasing a wall of water that swept away buildings and people inside them as well. In more tragic news, almost 3,000 people have reported to have died in the earthquake that hit Morocco on Friday last week. But the death toll continues to rise as search and rescue operations still continue, where the death toll currently stands at 2,900 as per Morocco's Ministry of Interior. But it also said that the death toll could rise, and this is the country's deadliest earthquake since 1990s. In other news, Russian President Vladimir Putin has accepted an invitation to visit North Korea from its leader Kim Jong-un, as per state media. Well, in the high-profile meet in Russia featuring the two leaders, Putin said that the military cooperation with North Korea could be a possibility. Well, Kim also told Putin, as per state media, that he was sure that Russia could secure a great victory over its enemies as Ukraine's Western allies warned of a possible Russian arms agreement with North Korea. And US National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby has said that the US is watching the meeting between Russia and North Korea very closely, and also warns that North Korea will face repercussions for helping Vladimir Putin. China, meanwhile, became the first country on Wednesday to formally name a new ambassador to Afghanistan since the Taliban takeover, after its envoy presented credentials at a ceremony in Kabul. Well, the Taliban have not been officially recognized by any foreign government, and Beijing did not indicate whether Wednesday's appointment signaled any wider steps towards formal recognition of the Taliban. Moving now to our special report. Well, the National Green Tribunal has banned cruising on Bhopal lakes in compliance with environment laws. This is being seen as a welcome move for the protection of water bodies here. Anurag sent us this report.
The National Green Tribunal has ordered that cruise and other motor-propelled boats stop operating in the historical upper lake of Bhopal. The decision came after the petition of noted environmentalist Subhash Pandey, highlighting that a cruise vessel, this Lake Princess, has been permitted in the Bhoj wetland by the Madhya Pradesh government. The wetland is also a Ramsar site with international importance and has 2 lakes, Upper Lake and the Lower Lake or Chota Talab. The Upper Lake is spread over 31 kilometers and it's an important source of potable water for the city. Upper Lake also has a great importance when it comes to local climate, vegetation, groundwater depletion and groundwater contamination of the surrounding areas. It has more than 15 kind of fishes and several vulnerable species including turtles, amphibians and aquatic invertebrates. More than 2,500 migratory birds from across the world come here regularly to this wetland for breeding and dispersal of seeds, leading to maintenance of biodiversity along their routes. The tribunal also said that no permanent construction will be allowed within zone of influence of water bodies, wetlands, and if any permanent construction has been raised, it be demolished. Subhash C. Pandey has also alleged that serious damage and deterioration at the Bhoj wetland and other water bodies due to operation of motorized boats and cruise boats. He also said a small cruise vessel with passengers act as a floating colonies that pollute water bodies with sewage, wastewater and other contaminants. A mid-sized cruise vessel can consume 150 tons of fuel each day and dump toxic waste in water. Moreover, as per the Bhopal Master Plan of 2005, no recreational activities should be permitted in the water of Upper Lake since it is fundamentally used for drinking, and recreational activities may adversely affect the quality of water. Still, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board allowed this Lake Princess to operate here, and this Upper Lake supplies water to the old city of Bhopal, around 12 lakh to around 12 lakh population. You can see, these people are here along with their families. We can see, the order by the civic body, mentioning the order of the NGT and the petitioner. सर, ये एनजीटी का कुछ ऑर्डर आया है जिसके बाद यहाँ पर ये मोटराइज्ड बोट्स या फिर क्रूज नहीं चलेंगे. आप लोगों के पास डिटेल, आप अधिकृत नहीं है? अच्छा, पर बरसात
पेपर पड़ा है, बस पेपर और
कुछ नहीं. पर वैसे बरसात में मोटराइज्ड बोट चलती थी पहले?
सभी बोटें चलते हैं,
चलती है. और ये लेक प्रिंसेस कब से खड़ी है?
आज
लेक प्रिंसेस भी चल रही थी क्या?
हाँ,
पिछले साल तो
नहीं वो आफ्टर रिनोवेशन चल रही थी.
अच्छा, आप अपना पूरा नाम क्या लिखते हैं सर?
लेफ्टिनेंट DS मिश्रा.
Lieutenant DS Mishra. So Lieutenant DS Mishra is saying that he is not authorized to speak on this matter, but as you can see, lots of locals here. They came here at the Upper Lake in Bhopal. भाई साहब, आप भोपाल से ही हैं? अच्छा, कहाँ से आए आप?
हम भोपाल द्वारका नगर
से. अब ये अदालत ने कहा है कि यहाँ पर जो मोटर बोट चलती थी ना, पैडल वाली चलेगी, मोटर बोट नहीं चलेंगी क्योंकि उससे प्रदूषण होता है. तो आप लोग इस फैसले से खुश हैं? आपको लगता है कि ये एक अच्छी चीज़ थी जिससे आप परिवार के साथ आकर यहाँ पर एंजॉय करते थे?
तो सर मेरे हिसाब से ये ठीक है. फिर पेडल
बोट ठीक है, मोटर बोट नहीं चलनी चाहिए. मोटर बोट उससे प्रदूषण फैलता है
जी.
क्योंकि एनजीटी का ये भी कहना था कि बहुत सारे लोग इसका पानी पीते हैं बड़े झील का, तो प्रदूषित होगा तो उससे उनकी तबीयत खराब होगी. तो आप लोग इस बात को मानते हैं?
जी सही.
आपका शुभ नाम?
अजीत साहू.
अजीत जी, क्या सही बात है? मतलब
बिल्कुल, पैदल वाला बोर्ड बहुत अच्छा है. प्रदूषण होगी और आदमी भी स्वस्थ रहेगी इससे.
यहाँ पर कितनी मोटर बोट चलती है?
मोटर बोट 10 मोटर बोट होंगी. अच्छा. और एक लेक प्रिंसेस है,
जो
एक जलपरी है.
जलपरी भी है.
हाँ.
तो ये जो अदालत ने आदेश दिया कि इससे प्रदूषण फैलता है, तो आप जैसे लोग जो यहाँ पर पैडल बोट या मोटर बोट के रोजगार से जुड़े हैं, क्या उनके रोजगार में कोई दिक्कत आएगी?
रोजगार में कुछ दिक्कत नहीं. मेरा पानी मेन होता है, जल सबसे मेन है. अपन पानी जब मिलेगा ही नहीं तो ये क्या प्रगति कर सकेंगे? ओल्ड भोपाल को पूरा पानी देने वाला लेक है.
तो जीतू जी, आप भी मानते हैं कि ये फैसला सही है?
फैसला तो सही है, मगर इस रोड को अलग करना चाहिए, बैटरी चलाना चाहिए. उन रोडों को नहीं हो रहा था फिर. अच्छा. हाँ, और एनजीटी का कहना है तो फिर एनजीटी ने क्या है तो वो उनका रूल ही करा होगा.
तो एनजीटी के फैसले से सहमत है, क्योंकि सर इसका पानी मतलब पूरा भोपाल ही पीता है. मतलब पानी पीने के लिए जाता है, हम भी पीते हैं उसका पानी. आजकल आप देख रहे हैं पानी पीने से कितनी सारी बीमारियों, सबसे ज़्यादा टाइफाइड हो रहा है. व्यक्ति बीमार होता है क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट तो बोल देती है नर्मदा जी का पानी आ रहा है, मगर पानी तो यही पीता है हर बंदा. सब झूठ बोला जाता है.
जो बड़े लेक प्रिंसेस खड़े रहते हैं वो भी कह रहे हैं कि इससे बहुत ज्यादा प्रदूषण
होता है ना. जब ये चलता है ना, एक तो धुआं आता है, डीजल गिरता है पानी में, जब इंजन स्टार्ट होता है डीजल गिरता है. और मोटर बोट जो चलते हैं इनके, उसमें सब में ही मतलब खेल विभाग के पास भी कई मोटर बोट है. मतलब ऐसा नहीं, इस बड़े तालाब के अंदर 30 से 40 मोटर बोट चलते हैं. अब क्या है कि सिर्फ नोटिस तो सिर्फ इनको दिया गया है, बाकी खेल विभाग हुआ और जो भी खेल विभाग स्पोर्ट्स के लेके जो भी है, सबके पास मोटर बोट है. पूरा पानी गंदा, मतलब सर आपको बता नहीं सकता. अगर कोई भी मोटर बोट जाता है ना, मतलब आप पानी के अंदर अलग ही देख सकते हैं. और हम जो बोट चलाते हैं ना, रोइंग बोट है हमारे पास, चप्पू वाली बोट है, उसमें हम पब्लिक को लेकर जाते हैं. ज़्यादातर उसी में घूमती है पब्लिक उसी में घूमती है. पैडल बोट रहता है तो क्या है कि मौसम में भी ऐसा चल रहा है ना, तो बोट ना के बराबर चलाते हैं हम लोग. जब बिल्कुल मौसम अच्छा हो जाता है ना, तो पब्लिक खुद घूमती है, क्योंकि वो रोइंग बोट में हम लोग क्या है कि 12 सीटर बोट रहती है तो हम 8 लोग बिठाते हैं. वो पब्लिक घूमती है बहुत. इसमें इसलिए जाती है कि इसमें साउंड वगैरह, डीजे वगैरह और लाइटिंग वगैरह रहता है, तो जो नाइट में घुमाते हैं. तो पब्लिक को क्या अच्छा लगना चाहिए। और एनजीटी ने एक अच्छा फैसला ये भी करा है, जो तालाब किनारे जो पक्का निर्माण हुआ है ना, उसको भी तोड़ना चाहिए। एनजीटी को देखो, हम भी इसके लिए एनजीटी के साथ खड़ा है, हम भी काफी विरोध करा है। ये खेल विभाग वालों ने पूरा पक्का निर्माण करके रखा, इसकी जेटी की परमिशन देके, खेल विभाग वालों ने जेटी का परमिशन लेके, गवर्नमेंट से परमिशन लिया, भी सारा पक्का निर्माण हो गया जो पहले निर्माण है। सर इस तरफ ज्यादा हुआ, आप जाएंगे ना, वो म्यूजिकल फाउंटेन का भी पेपर में दिया है, आज के पेपर में आया, म्यूजिकल फाउंटेन भी वो पक्का निर्माण है। प्रशासन खुद ही पक्का निर्माण करता है। मेरे सर, मैं भी देखो, मैं भी एक समाज सेवक हूँ, मतलब इस चीज के लिए क्या है कि पर्यावरण के साथ हम खिलवाड़ करेंगे ना, तो आने वाली जो पीढ़ी है ना, वो मतलब कहीं की नहीं रहेगी। इस चीज को आप भी मानते हो, मैं भी मानता हूँ सर। आजकल के देखो, हमारे जो पिताजी थे, दादाजी थे, वो 80-80, 90-90 साल जीते थे। अब हम जैसी जनरेशन कितने साल जिएगी? 40-45 साल, क्योंकि उसको उस हिसाब से चीज ही नहीं मिल रही है, क्योंकि वहाँ पूरा पक्का निर्माण करके आपने कम से कम कुछ नहीं तो कम से कम 1 करोड़ रुपए का नगर निगम ने, जो क्रूज बोर्ड बना रहे थे, आप बड़ा रेस्टोरेंट बना रहे थे, उस पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का जुर्माना लगाया, नगर निगम ने दिया। आपने एनजीटी ने नगर निगम को बोला कि 1 करोड़ रुपए आप भरोगे। वो पार्क पे आग बना रहे थे आगे, पक्का एक रेस्टोरेंट, 5 मंजिला रेस्टोरेंट आप कैसे बना सकते हैं? वन विहार है, मानव संग्रहालय, मतलब प्रकृति के साथ खिलवाड़ प्रशासन ही कर रहा है ना, इसमें कोई नहीं कर रहा, प्रशासन खुद ही कर रहा है, खुद ही करके और खुद ही उस पर कार्रवाई करता है।
और जिनकी वजह से ये पाबंदी लगी है वो है सुविख्यात पर्यावरणविद सुभाष सी पांडे जी, जो इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं। सर, यहाँ के मछुआरे तो बहुत खुश हैं इस फैसले से, लेकिन कुछ लोग दुखी भी हैं।
अब जो लोग दुखी हैं वो उनके बारे में तो ये है कि जो सरकार से बंधे हुए हैं, जो जिनको कारण जिनको सरकार से नौकरी मिल रही है, तनख्वाह मिल रही है, उनका बुरा लगना जायज़ है। लेकिन मूल रूप से ये मछुआरे हैं गरीब, जो मेरे पास आए थे और वो कह रहे थे सर जो है भोपाल में 5000 से ज़्यादा मछुआरे जो है रजिस्टर्ड हैं। वो कह रहे थे पढ़े लिखों को नौकरी नहीं मिल रही, हम लोग क्या करेंगे सर? ये मछलियों का तो उत्पादन कम हो गया है, मछलियों की साइज़ कम हो गई है, और जब ये लगातार इस तरह के जो मोटराइज्ड बोट चलेंगी तो उसके कारण मछलियों का डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो रहा, पानी जो पॉल्यूट हो रहा, तो बोले हम लोग को कोई पूछता नहीं है। तो धीरे धीरे इनमें बेरोजगारी बढ़ रही थी। इस पूरी घटनाक्रम से अनुराग जो है वो इतना बड़ा फायदा मिलेगा कि इन गरीबों को जो है वो शुद्ध मिल जाएगी, मछलियों का उत्पादन बढ़ जाएगा, मछलियों की क्वालिटी बन जाएगी, और उसके कारण क्या होगा, ये पूरे रोजगार जो हैं इनकी आर्थिक और सामाजिक स्थिति में बड़ा सुधार होगा।
विद कैमरा पर्सन रिजवान खान, अनुराग तिवारी फॉर NDTV।
So welcome move for the environment there in Madhya Pradesh. We'll take a short break now, but on the other side, our Thursday special food report, and this time we have a very special recipe all the way from the UK.
Hi, my name is Monica Warden. I'm an Indian food writer and chef, and I'm cooking something really special for the viewers of NDTV from my brand new cookbook, Tandoori Home Cooking.
Kandari Ghosh Tikka, spiced lamb skewers with black pepper, cumin and dried mango powder.
It's a dish from the northern frontier of India. It's actually one of my favorites. It includes all my favorite spices. So yeah, let's get started.
To begin with, in a large bowl, you need 1 heaped tablespoon of thick strained yogurt. Add your blended ginger and garlic paste to the yogurt. Add coarsely crushed cumin, black pepper and garam masala. These spices add the warmth, smokiness and also a wonderful texture to the marinade. Now add your lamb. I'm using lamb rump, which has been cut to bite-sized pieces. Stir well and make sure the lamb is completely coated. Now you want to leave this to marinate at least for an hour, or preferably 6 to 8 hours refrigerated.
So I moved to the UK 25 years ago, and that kind of spurred on my interest in Indian food because I craved my mother's cooking dearly. So she'd email the recipes over, and that's how I started cooking. That got on to, working as a private chef, writing cookbooks, working with a lot of international chefs. For me, to be able to keep exploring, understanding, sharing the recipes is where the joy really lies.
Soak your wooden skewers in cold water for at least 30 minutes. Drain them and add the lamb along with the lamb fat to the skewers. Now heat the griddle pan over medium heat and cook the Kandari lamb tikkas for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, turn the skewers over, baste the skewers with some butter. Once they've turned over, cook them for a further 4 minutes.
So while the tikkas are cooking, I thought I'd answer some of your questions that you've sent in. Your favorite Indian street food when you visit India? That's such a tricky question. For me, pav bhaji is up there. Kati rolls, I have to have a Tibbs Kati roll when I'm in Bombay. Papri chaat, some nice kebabs. Who has been your favorite celeb chefs to cook with? God, that's quite a tricky one because I've cooked with so many amazing and brilliant people in food. But I think if I have to pick just one, it would definitely be Jamie Oliver. I think he's extremely inspiring. His recipes are brilliant. Fish and chips or Amritsari fish tikka, which would you choose? I mean, that's a no-brainer. I think Amritsari fish tikka, of course.
Serve these delicious kandari tikkas with a generous sprinkling of dried mango powder and coarsely crushed sea salt, along with some flaky paratha and a fresh mint raita. And enjoy!
That's it from me, and I can't wait for you all to try the recipes from the book. The book is called Tandoori Home Cooking. Take care, and thank you NDTV for having me.